Fellas, the year is 2025. EA has been confirmed as the biggest scam company on the observable universe, as they now charge you 5 whatever this is for some fucking eyebrows. And I have been cooking.
Hello?
Up ways to be known as the greatest psycho on The Sims 4. You see, this game is a sandbox, meaning the only limit is your own sanity, and mine has been stretched far. Becoming a millionaire is no easy task, especially when bills are as expensive as getting groceries in the modern world, and especially when your small business makes you $15,000 a day, and apparently it's only worth $1,000. But what does a small business sell? Well, I'm glad you asked, because after I show you this image, my channel will unfortunately be unlisted. Yes, that is right. I'm going to become a millionaire in The Sims 4 by selling cooked babies. You may be wondering, how do you even cook babies in The Sims 4? Well, mods. The Sims 4 has a library of thousands of unique mods and content you can download. Just let me show you. The most popular mod right now is sex. But a particular mod does allow you to sell cooked babies, and that is what I did. So, as stated before, can I become a millionaire in The Sims 4 and make a crazy baby mansion by solely selling cooked babies? Let us see. The plan was incredibly simple. Start my baby business as a humble market stall and evolve it into a small cafe, and then into full restaurants and retail merch stores to obtain full billionaire status. Nothing will get in my way. Not even the babies. Unfortunately, this idea does come with its price. And no, I'm not talking about the dead babies. I'm talking about the DLCs you need, which include Business and Hobbies Expansion Pack, Get to Work Expansion, Dine Out Game Pack, and Home Chef Hustle Stuff Pack. So, with $400 down the drain, the challenge is now possible. So, let's begin. You start the game, and I have unfortunate news. You're alive. And after creating the perfect specimen for this playthrough, I was ready to begin. Meet Chef Pick Childburn. Friends, 0. Wife, 0. And children, not applicable. Willow Creek would be the perfect playground for this task, and so the legacy started. Straight away, I placed down a market stall, but did not start cooking. I headed over to the Goth's residence as I had a plan. You see, initially I was going to actually have every baby and kill them off before serving them on a plate. But after a few calculations, I had realized how outlandish this idea was. Skipping to my small cafe days, I was putting out about 8 cooked babies in each refrigerator, and I had 3 refrigerators making 24 babies each day. And I did this for about 80 days, which would mean to finish the end goal of this challenge, I would have to birth, kill, cook, and sell around 1,920 babies. Are you following me? And that is only including the small cafe, not the market stall, and not even the restaurant. So by the time that was finished, life would be a little bit worse. But I was not aware of this yet, so I hit up Bella Goth with a plan: make scientific babies. Bella wasn't too interested in my sim, not really sure why. I can kind of see why, buddy. So I went home, created a room full of baby, had a science baby with Bella Goth. It literally cost me over $1,000, so this was the worst idea I ever had, and named it the first victim. I quit my job, locked my baby in a room, and disbanded it for the rest of the playthrough. The crying was enough to give up on that idea. And so I cooked my first baby on a grill. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show this, but what is life without some risks? I started my first market stall sale, and the rest was already written. Over the next few days, my baby got taken away from me because of neglect, my grill set on fire, and my market stall was fucking popping. My fellow Sims were enjoying the non-specified meats. I was making around $100 every food sale. Pretty good, but not enough to become a millionaire. To continue my journey to maximize shareholder value, I would need to open a cafe selling babies, as 100 a day would only take me the small time of 10,000 days. So I opened the gallery, found a cafe that I liked, saw the price, 22 grand. I could actually get that. I could get that. And started grinding. My days were as followed: reject Bella Goth, wake up, unfortunately, hit up the basic needs, and start cooking. Once cooked, I would chuck the baby in the food stall. Once I had about 3 or 4, I would start the stall, get a call from Travis Scott. Why is Travis Scott calling me? Sell all the babies to the locals, head to bed, and do it all over again, and money was being made. Eventually, it was Chef's birthday, an exciting day to say the least. After setting up a birthday party, inviting guests, and even spending $750 on some birthday specialists to come over, nobody came over except for this bakery lady. As you can tell, this was the first time I've ever played The Sims 4. Feelings aside, back to killing babies. And eventually, I had enough money for the second phase of my plan: charcoal children. What is charcoal children, you may ask? Well, shout out to my girlfriend for the name. It's my cafe. So after placing down the cafe from the gallery, changing a few things to my tasting, and hiring Bella Goth, 20 an hour? Who does she think she is? My cafe was ready to make millions. Before every shift started, I would have to cook enough babies to fill up the refrigerators to sell them. Yes, for those wondering, I did eventually expand. Initially, I started by tending the bar myself. Sims would come in, buy drinks, buy babies, and mingle. Bella Goth, on the other hand, was undermining my business. What the fuck are you cooking, Bella Goth? Unfortunately, anytime Chef needed to be a basic human being and have a shower or whatever, I would have to go home and do it. And that was not a good use of my time. So to combat this, I built a literal tiny home on the lot with my cafe. So now I would never have to leave this place. My sim may sleep, but money does not, and neither do these babies. I also made Bella wear this stupid sausage hat while working, because why not? So this setup was pretty good. I was making about $1,000 every shift, which is a big step up from the market stall. Never forget those humble days though, hashtag bless up. But I still didn't want to do this 1,000 times before becoming a millionaire. So the next steps were in plan, but one problem arose. Chef was dying. You see, I completely forgot to turn off the auto aging in this game, so Chef was about to get fucked. So I had to come up with a plan. Birth. You see, I could definitely turn off aging now and Chef would be completely fine, but to be honest, Chef is fucking ugly and I don't like him at all. So I made his daughter, the Look at their family photo. I gave her a tiny home in my old lot and practically fucked her off until Chef died. Chef went back to the cafe grind and then tragically passed away. It was the heir's time to shine. It's time for the heir! And shine, she did. She took over Chef's role and made the cafe her own, no questions asked. She was with the plan from the start. Cook babies first, ask questions never. It was the motto I live by. But fret not of the passing chef, as I employed him in the afterlife to tend the bar. Even if you have passed, you are not free from the babies that must be cooked. The goal we must achieve, Chef, you were not alone. Anyways, the heir got to cooking and running the cafe. The next step of maximizing profit and becoming a worldwide leader in gourmet meals was opening a restaurant. You see, a cafe is great, small and local, but I want more. So I opened the gallery, found a restaurant I liked, realized I need about 100 grand. I definitely do not have enough, and got back to cooking indefinitely. I was making money too slow. At this rate, it would likely take me until next week to get 100,000, better yet $1 million, so I needed to find a way to make more profit. I expanded the cafe, made a little coffee stand so I can sell coffees as well, and also added more refrigerators to sell more babies while open. The grilling would take longer than usual, but if I could sell more babies in a shift, more profit would be made. I hired Eliza Pancakes, who is also dead, to tend the coffee stand while working. Now this was a great idea. I was making on average around $8,000 every shift now, which is like 8 times what I was making before. I don't know if it was the coffee or the babies sold. Actually, I think someone just invested in my cafe. But I'll tell you one thing, I was not complaining. I then also added more refrigerators as I thought I would sell more babies. This, on the other hand, was not profitable or ethical. I found the sweet spot with the amount of babies I was selling before. 3 refrigerators full of them was perfect. 5 was literally overkill, and it was unethical to kill this amount of babies. But I didn't know this at the time, so I got to cooking. I hired Lilith Goff to specifically be a cleaner so I didn't have to run around myself fixing and cleaning things. What is happening? And then I placed a kiosk at the front to try and make people to pay to enter the building so I can make more money. Also, I made a terrible mistake by not making people pay hourly. You see, in my business points screen, I have some magical aroma in my cafe that makes Sims stay longer, which means if they were paying hourly, I would make a fuck ton more money than a one-time fee, which I already had. But I didn't know this at the time, so I'm literally just purposefully lowering my earning potential. I realized the babies and the 2 extra refrigerators I made were not being sold, as I stated before, so I got rid of them as I was losing money on them. Because these babies are expensive, you know? It's literally $17 fucking to cook one or some shit. And then the grind began to $100,000, so I can make my restaurant. I had just about enough, and to reach the final stretch, I bulldozed my tiny house. Then I bought a restaurant lot, selected every fucking meal as I could on the menu, bad idea by the way, realized I couldn't place down the restaurant I wanted because it wasn't set as a restaurant lot type, so I had to find one and then place down a completely different one. Now, at this point in time, I didn't even realize one of the mods my girlfriend told me to download literally included baby meat dish, so for a little bit, I was not selling baby meat. My apologies. The restaurant was looking pretty gnarly. I had a chef, a waitress, and a host, and every single one of them were unsatisfied. I opened the perk store and instantly knew my mission. To obtain all of these perks, get a 5-star restaurant, pretty close to that already, and make literal thousands from this restaurant. Spoiler alert, that did not happen. My chef fucking sucked. He needed training as I was making him cook 5 out of 5 difficulty meals, and he was a new recruit. I was having the same issue as I was at the cafe. The heir needed to keep being a human, and every time that happened, I would have to go home and do whatever she needed to do. So I bulldozed a corner of my restaurant and made once again a tiny home. This restaurant was doing absolutely horrid. I was making like 200 bucks a day, actually losing money on wages, and all of my staff were unsatisfied, and I kept having to pay for training, which I also couldn't afford. Anyways, on the brighter side, my chef quit. Fucking we didn't need him anyways. My restaurant was literally not functionable. So I hired a new chef, and surprisingly, my restaurant was on 2.5 stars out of 5. Not the greatest, but pretty well considering what we're selling. I then made a second chef station because this dude was taking half the opening time of the restaurant to make one meal. Things were going pretty well. I went from $15,000 in my business to 6. I then actually wanted to sell baby meat, so completely forgetting about the mod that literally does it for me, I ventured into making my own mod full of Sims, and that did not go well, so I scrapped that idea as well. Then I went from 6 grand in the company to 1. But hey, at least we had 4 stars. How the fuck did I even get to that? Eventually, I realized I already had baby meat I can sell, and I also realized something new. We expanded our menu to toddler meat. This meat was primed a little longer than the usual babies. Anyways, I made it so that is the only thing being sold in my restaurant. And then my business went completely broke. So I had to go back to my cafe to run a few days so I can have some fallback money. Now this was pretty good. Once I had about 2K to put back into the business, I was ready to run this restaurant to millions. So I went back to the restaurant and my game broke. I'm not even kidding. I tried reloading the game. I restarted my computer. I even repaired my game files. Nothing worked. Every time I would load into the game, the plumb bob would just say, okay, to me, and then I would get this error. And other people have had the same issue before. Maybe EA saw what I was doing and pulled the plug on me. This was demoralizing. I spent countless hours doing this, and I didn't want to go through it again. So, I didn't. Because I cheated. I don't give a fuck if you guys say I should be grinding back to the top. I don't care. I cheated my way back to where I was. No more, no less. I was back on my shit. I was ready to get to this millionaire status by selling cooked babies. Nothing is getting in my way. My cafe and restaurant were back, and I was back to making money. I don't know how I got this much money, so forget about it. Anyways, with the restaurant set back up, I started grinding, money was being made, praises were going around, training was occurring, and promotions were happening. This restaurant was a success. 5 stars was achieved, which is fucking crazy. So now, I should be able to turn on this restaurant and just leave it, practically making me passive income. Yeah. I had enough money for a retail store, and the next phase begun, and was short-lived. Charcoal Children merch. Also, don't stress, the restaurant was not done yet, or the cafe. Anyways, Charcoal Children merch. Once I had about $134,000 in the business, I yoinked 50 grand, left the business on, and stranded it hoping for the best. And then bought a retail store in a half cafe that I never used. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this merch / retail store stuff was really confusing. So I hired some random dude, made everything in the store allowed for sale, and opened for my very first day. Safe to say we had some visitors, and whenever someone would want to buy something, my employee would have to ring them up. What the fuck does that mean? I'm an Australian, I don't get this international lingo. You're telling me you Americans have to wait for someone to ring you up? Just go to the counter. So I had to manually make my employee go and ring people up, kind of eliminating the chance of making this a passive profit. But these retail items were selling crazy, but not enough was actually being sold to actually make it worth it. I was literally making more money doing the small cafe shit. And because it was half a cafe, because it was the only one I could afford, half the people in the store would just dance near the jukebox instead of buying stuff. Anyways, once again, I built a tiny home for myself so my sim can go to the bathroom without me having to travel. And I also destroyed everything in the cafe everywhere, so people could focus on buying my merch and not hanging around. So definitely some problems. You can't actually make a passive profit with a retail store. You have to manually be there to ring people up or whatever the fuck that is. And you have to manage it yourself. Also, it made me hardly any money. To be more honest, it lost me money. So I left it and abandoned it forever. EA, please make the retail store more fun. Broken heart emoji. So the plan was, keep collecting passive income from my now 5-star baby meat restaurant, and while that was running, I would run the small cafe, practically 2 timesing my money until I get $1 million. So without further ado, El Gato. Wait, is that a fucking loss? You're telling me, after leaving my restaurant open for 31 hours, I did not make a single cent. Instead, I lost a shit ton of money. Yes. You see, leaving this restaurant open while I'm not there is a horrible idea. It does not make me money because EA did not want to make this DLC fun. So I shut down the restaurant and never used it again. Yes, I had wasted the last 4 in real life days building a restaurant and retail, cooking, baby, selling empire just for it to lose me money. But I needed the lore. So I went back to my small baby cafe, changed the kiosk to hourly pay, so the Sims now have to pay hourly to be in my cafe. This paired well with the really nice aura smell perk that keeps customers in my cafe for longer, and this would make me a lot of money. So I stocked the fridges and ran a whole 24-hour day. Looked at how much I made and holy shit, over $13,000 in one day. Guys, this cafe made me more money than the restaurant and retail store combined. EA literally optimized the cafe system more than the restaurant and retail system. Or I'm doing something incredibly wrong. The plan was simple. I have my way. Small cafe to greatness. Huge, incredible, awesome 1 million monster. So, 1 million was finally reached. Oh my gosh. Didn't even see the milli in the bank. Now, I gotta confess, I really didn't think I was gonna make it. This goal took 40 hours of gameplay to reach. And when my game originally broke, I was really convinced I was gonna quit and just make the video until the point where it broke. And then just end the video. But I took it upon me to finish this challenge. And it literally took me an extra week from when the game broke to finish this. And man, those babies got cooked. So the real question is, what am I even gonna do with all this money now? I'm literally rich. Well, you're about to see. Doing lads, it's me. Yeah, so I'm not gonna know how good this looks until I've watched back the video because I can't watch it. Anyway, so I put a bush around the thing and then put a river there and got rid of it and then put a hole there and got rid of that and then I put a fountain there and put some bushes around and then put a maze inside of that. Let me explain this real quick. I can't watch how good this watch is until the video is uploaded, so it could be horrible. I put some trees in the tree line as well, and then put some flowers on the ground and some roads and stuff. It was pretty fire. Then I placed a pool and another pool, thought it was horrible, got rid of that. Put a fence around the whole motherfucker. That was pretty cool. And then I put 2 like things and then got rid of them and then put a whole nother. And then I put 2 boxes down and then I put a roof on those and I put little things and some windows on those. And then I made a little like arch in the middle and a door and another triangle thing. And then inside there, I placed only debug babies. This literally took forever. I think this is the longest time. Okay, now that I've got time because I'm only placing babies, the reason that could have been completely fucked is because I can't, because when I'm playing this video back, it's lagging for me and I can't see how good it is until it's uploaded. So this could be absolutely horrible. Anyway, then I placed babies inside, thousands of them. It took forever. And then placed a pool, and then yeah, it's done. Okay. Hey, you. I got a message, and it's gonna sound a little cringe, but I gotta be completely honest. Making this video, actually, and I'm not gonna actually edit this at all. It's gonna be a heartfelt message. Making this video kind of made me realize that I enjoy making videos. A lot of my previous videos, I feel like I've been stuck kind of like in a box of what content I have to make to get views. And after kind of realizing that I'm not even at that point where I have to please people, I'm still at that point where I have everything to gain and nothing to lose. I've made a promise to myself. I can't continue making videos if I'm not enjoying it. And making this video was so fun, and that's because it's just the most dumbest shit ever. It's the most outlandish, stupid shit ever, and I really enjoyed it. And I had so much fun making this video and recording this video and editing this video was incredibly enjoyable. And I'm gonna do more of that. I'm gonna make a promise to myself that I can make the videos I want to make, that is fun, more passion's going to be into it. It's going to be more enjoyable to watch. Even if it's a game that's not popular, I'm just going to do whatever game I want. But it probably will be in the same like range that I do now. The Sims 4 is literally the most mainstream game I've ever done, but usually I do like indie games and just do some dumb shit in that. It probably will stay around that. I'm definitely going to make some more Sims 4 videos as well. This was really fun. But yeah, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, thank you. It's making me feel like I can still do what I want and people can still enjoy it. Thank you to my girlfriend for this awesome idea. I literally couldn't have done this without you. And thank you all for watching. With this new sense of self-worth and dedication to things that I actually enjoy, I have only realized one thing. I'm free.